मतलब क्या है ऑनलाइन किया था मैंने ऑनलाइन से ऑफलाइन किया था जैसे थर्टी से ऑफलाइन नहीं है मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ अरे ना वो टेंशन नहीं आ रहा टेंशन नहीं है पता है नाम आपको सही कराएंगे ये ड्रामा होगा ग्रामर
अटेंडेंस शीट कोई 9 का बच्चा नहीं है ना? रुद्रेश आपकी मम्मा ने जाते वक्त मुझसे कैलकुलेशन मांग रहे हैं मैं टेबल पे रख दूंगी आपको ठीक है ये
नाम भी नहीं निकाली
प्रोफेशनली मैं 4 और वो भी कर दो आगे चलिए मैं पता है इसमें से हम ये मैनेज खाता हूं
सबसे इजी कौन सा लगाएंगे सब लोग
ऊपर जाने बैग उधर घर मतलब बस और जब छुट्टी होती है तब 7 बजे से क्योंकि मैं किधर
You should bear over there. This place to me. So, what has been done in class in your school? Joanna, what has been done? Okay. Chapters?
Chapters we didn't start with.
Anything. Grammar?
Grammar
Subject verb agreement. Do you? Same school?
7. No, Kodar 7.
What school is that? I've not heard.
Sadhuvasani.
Kodar.
7 days.
7 days.
So we're looking at subject verb agreement, MOV, and what else?
The little man's girl,
The little match girl.
and I know why the cage bird sings.
I know why the cage bird sings. What would you like me to do today? The little match girl? So, the little match girl is the story of a girl, a poor girl, in a European country who is out on the eve of Christmas. What is the meaning of eve of Christmas? So, yeah, so Christmas is what day?
25th December.
And eve of Christmas or Christmas Eve.
24th.
So what happens is Jesus Christ was actually born at midnight. So 24th, the celebration starts. The celebration starts. At midnight, they have a mass in the church. They get together, they celebrate. So on 24th evening itself, they get together and they have this lavish food that is prepared. Just like we have chicken, which we actually cut into pieces. Have you ever seen an entire what we call tandoori chicken? So they have turkey. It is this big. Turkey is also a bird. Chicken is also a bird. So they have turkey. They have this Christmas tree. You must have seen. No, this kind of a Christmas tree, and they decorate it. Now, all these things are important because the chapter revolves around that. You have this girl who's actually selling matchboxes. Just like for Diwali, we light a lot of diyas, for Christmas, they light a lot of candles. So, matchboxes required something on the eve of Christmas because they will go to church and they will light candles. Okay, so she's selling matchbox. She's very poor and the cold is getting to her. She's not well protected. So she starts hallucinating. Anyone who understands what is hallucination?
Having imagination.
Yeah, so you're imagining. So from the windows of the houses, she's able to see the Christmas decorations. She's able to see the turkey. And it's their celebration, so they have those special crockery that comes out, you know, which your mama removes here, you guest starting work.
Yes.
So they also have special crockery that comes out. So she kind of sees those spoons and forks dancing. She kind of sees the turkey coming towards her. She kind of sees the decorations in her hallucinations. When she's feeling very cold, she lights a match to give her warmth. How much is the warmth of a matchstick? But yet it is warmth for her. And whenever she feels warm, she starts hallucination. So there are these first matchstick, what happened, second matchstick, what happened, third matchstick, what happened. Because the final matchstick that she lights, she sees her dead grandmother. According to the Hindu mythology also in India that we believe, when a person is dying, his relatives who have already died come to take him. Correct? But she's a child, so she doesn't see it that way. that her dead grandmother has come to take her. But she's so happy to see her grandmother because her father does not treat her very well. If she thinks of going back, she has a house which is broken and the cold wind comes through and it's very cold, okay? And her father will only shout at her for not having sold a single matchbox. So when she lights the family matchstick and she can see her grandmother there, she ends up lighting all the matchsticks so that the vision of her grandmother can continue. But she dies out of the cold. So there is a hint of as if her grandmother had come to take her soul away. Okay. Now, the last vision that she had was that of her grandmother, and that's when she died. So she kind of died with a smile on her face. So also the last climax of the story is wherein the other people, now on the day of Christmas, see her dead body, frozen dead body, with a smile on her face, and they have their own conclusions about that. The reality is different. So it's a very touching story. Yeah. Both of you have books?
No, before the book one.
You? Go to book.
Last year.
So you can come here, you can share the book with him. Or you can go there. You can go there. You can come here and share the book with them. Start reading the first paragraph. Read slowly because we are critically examining the chapter. We're not reading a novel, correct? Keep a pencil in your hand, all of you. Those of you who do not have the textbook will write the word that we discuss the meaning of. Because in the tuition book, I am expecting you to write the meanings of the words. जब हम सुनते हैं हमको 40% याद होता है, जब हम लिखते हैं तो हमको 80% याद होता है, और फिर जब हम उसको रिवाइज करते हैं तो वो हमको एग्जाम तक याद रहता है.
It was recently old, snow was falling, and the darkness was gathering. For it was the last evening of the old year. It was the New Year's Eve.
Oh, sorry, not Christmas. It is the New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve would mean 31st December. So just because Christmas was on the 25th of December, by 31st of December also when they are celebrating the New Year, the decorated Christmas tree is still there in the house. ऐसा थोड़ी होता है कि दिवाली होगी तो next day हम light को काट देते हैं, एक हफ्ते तक रहता है. So it's not Christmas, it's New Year. These details of the chapter we want to underline it and make a note of it because we want to include it in our answers. We want to keep the quotient of our answer up. Board exam is a different ball game altogether. अभी तक throw ball खेला था, अभी volleyball खेल रहे हैं हम लोग. As and when I do the chapters with you, I will keep telling you the rules of this game. Play it by the rules, you will win the game. Okay, I am here to take you to 95% achievement. Actually, I am not here to repeat the reading and the explanation of the chapter which your school teacher is already doing. Because then we are only doing repetition, then we remain at 70-80 only. We are beginning today, so I am doing this. But what I am expecting you to do is pay full attention in your class, finish the reading and explanation of the chapter in school itself. Here, let us critically examine the chapter from the board point of view, from the examination point of view, so that we can take that 80 to 95. Are all of you with me on this? Because I will need cooperation from you. If you have not read the chapter, if you have not understood the chapter, then I cannot go to critically examining the chapter. Then I have to do reading and explaining only because I have only that much time. So if you've done that bit, we can take that extra step forward. So don't waste your time in class, be attentive there, finish the chapter explanation, word meanings there. If there is something you still don't follow, come here and ask me. I am here to explain to you. Apart from lectures, we have doubt solving. You can always get in touch. Yeah? But we want to keep a more critical approach to the chapters. Okay? Now you read the second paragraph.
In the cold and gloom, a poor little girl walked, bareheaded and barefoot.
Now, bareheaded means what?
That's without any muffle. No
Yeah,
head.
muffler or monkey cap or scarf for protection against the cold. And barefoot, of course, means no slippers or sandals.
Through the streets. She had been wearing slippers, it is true, when she left home, but what good were they? They had been her mother's, so you can imagine how big they were. The little girl had lost them as she ran across the street to escape from two carriages that were being driven terribly fast. One slipper could not be found, and a boy had run off with the other.
So we are getting a hint of the time period of this chapter because there are no cars on the road but carriages. So this is the pre-industrial revolution era. You know, there are no cars on the street, there are horse carriages, जिसको हम टोंगा बोलते हैं.
Saying that it would come in very handy as a cradle someday when he had children of his own. So the little girl,
No, so the little.
So the little girl walked about the streets on her naked feet, which were red and blue with the cold. In her cold apron, she carried a great many matches, and she had a packet of them in her hand as well. Nobody had bought
Slow,
any
beta, slow.
from her, and no one had given her a single penny all day. She crept along, shivering and hungry.
Crept means what?
When we feel cold and
No. No. She crept along means what?
walk.
Walking slowly. Yes, underline and write. Walking slowly.
What does cradle mean?
Cradle, पालना जिसको बोलते हैं ना, a little swing, a bed which is swing for the kids. What is it called? It's called Jula.
She crept along, shivering and hungry, the picture of misery, poor little thing.
The snowflakes fell on her long golden hair, which curled so prettily about her neck. But she did not think of her appearance now. Lights were shining in every window, and there was a glorious smell of roast goose in the street. For this was New
What
Year's
is
Eve.
roast goose? Is something like a European version of tandoori chicken. So that was the smell on the street because almost every house was cooking it.
And she could not think of anything else.
So New Year's Eve means it is the 31st of December. You have to continue to that.
she had a town in a corner from 4 5 houses, one of which projected further out into the street than the other. Although she tucked her little legs up under her, she felt colder and colder. She did not
Tucked her feet means she is pushing her feet under her so that she can warm them up a little bit.
She did not dare to go home, for she had sold no matches and earned not a single penny. Her father would be sure to beat her. And besides, it was so cold at home, for they had nothing but the roof above them. And the wind whistled through that even the largest cracks were stuffed with straw and rags.
What are rags?
Torn
Torn pieces of cloth. Underline rags and write torn pieces of clothes.
The thin hands were almost one the fold. Oh, if only she had then pulled just one small match from the packet, strike it on the wall, and warm her fingers.
So in those days, the matchsticks were made with a kind of chemical that you could light it even if you struck it against the wall. the matchboxes that we get now, you have to rub it only against this sheet, only then will it light up. You must have seen in some movies, they will do it from the head also and it will light up, you know. So, right. Joanna?
She pulled out one from scratch. How it fluttered and burned. It had a warm, bright flame like a tiny candle when she held her hand over it. But what a strange light! It seemed to the little girl as if she was sitting in front of a great iron stove with polished brass knobs and brass ornaments. The fire burned so beautifully and gave out a lovely warmth. Oh, how wonderful that was! The child had already stretched her feet to warm them. Then out went the flame, the stove vanished, and there she sat with a burnt match in her hand.
In this chapter, from a portion to a portion, a section of the chapter to a section of the chapter, we see great contrast, right? Somewhere, great contrast. This is what I mean when I am saying your teacher will not end up discussing these things, and this is exactly what I want to discuss. See, the paragraph that she read was about such a nasty picture of her house and the rags and the straw and the cold wind coming in and this and that. And then again, the paragraph that she read was something so nice and flowery. So there is this kind of black and white that goes on throughout the story, which becomes very entertaining for the reader. It is a nice read to have when your emotions are being jostled. Otherwise, if it's the same emotion that is going on, then the read becomes very boring. Here there is an alteration of emotions. Write this. Alteration of emotions. Fifth, sixth, seventh standard, you have these kind of direct questions from the chapter, you give direct answer. You even pick up the language from the question and say, he felt like this because, and you write your answer. 9, 10, 11, 12, this is not the treatment we want to give. We want to give a lot of overview. Things that are not mentioned in the chapter need to be mentioned in our answers. Only then you will get 90 plus in English. Otherwise, the teacher sees those answers as having very low quotient. Your answer needs to have material. Idiomatic language, of course, vocabulary, of course, the right answer, of course, introduction and conclusion, of course, but then overview. Each answer should have one line of overview. What you are getting, even with MOV, although it seems like a very direct question, those one-word answers that you write are not going to get you 90 plus. You have to have a lot of input from your side that is coming in. So I will keep giving you those inputs through the explanation. It is your job to firstly write it down in the class. Do not think of yourself as a genius who will be able to remember these things for an entire year. They'll be out, gone. You have to write it down. You have to write it down in a place where you will be able to see it. Before the exam that you have in June, July, you should be able to see all this that I am saying. Tabhina, you will write it. Secondly, you have to do the homework that I tell you, and these things have to be incorporated in your answers. You have to have a proper book, almost like a school notebook, in which every chapter का word meanings, question answers, extra questions, you have written the answers. Do not be a fool and take the easy way out कि नेट खोला पूरा का पूरा आंसर वहां से कॉपी करके यहाँ पेस्ट किया, फायदा ही नहीं है. Don't try to impress me कि देखो ma'am, I have done my work. Your ultimate goal is marks. Be focused on that. In English, there is no way that you can sit 3 months before your exam and prepare it. SST and science and maths you can. English and grammar you can't. Hindi you can't. It is a through the year little work that has to be done. You understanding? It is through the years, the entire year. So you have to attend the lecture, attend my coaching, write the answers, write what I am saying, and then you will be automatically prepared. Before your English paper, you can have a 2-day rest because there's nothing you have to do. You're ready. But the answer should be prepared by you on your own. If you see a question and you can't think of an answer, read the answer from the module, see it from the net, see it from your guides, but then close all that and frame your own answer. By virtue of framing your own answer, there is a release of some juice in your mind, which will enable you to frame your answers for your exams. वो जूस अगर आंसर प्रिपेयर करते टाइम नहीं रिलीज हो रहा है तो एग्जाम में आंसर सूझेगा ही नहीं. Those are the children जिनका इंग्लिश पेपर छूटता है because they are taking too much time कि ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर लिखना क्या है. That thinking and release of juice is taking time. That has to be instant and you have to write. You have to write a lot. So you cannot have the time to think for the answer. That should be ready. I cannot give you a question bank. The plethora and variety of questions that can come through each chapter and poem is over exaggerated. The good news is you prepare 6 to 7 answers per chapter, per poem. You're ready for 6,000, 7,000 answers. Because it's only a combination and permutation of that. So do that from day one. Okay? Next paragraph.
She struck another. It was clearly and while the light fell upon the wall, the face became transparent and cold. She could see right into the room, where a shining white cloth was spread on the table.
Let me tell you what is gauze. If you get a hurt, the doctor will put medicine and then cotton and then a cloth which is like a loose mesh and he has folded up and he put that and then he put the Johnson's tape, you know. So that gauze, if you will open it up, it is like a loose mesh. So loose mesh ke through you can see, correct? So what the writer is saying, when she lit the matchstick, her hallucination started. A wall that was made of bricks became gauze and she could see through the wall. Is it actually happening? No, it's imagination. It's the cold that is getting to her and she's able to imagine. Yeah.
It was covered with beautiful china, and in the center of the street a rose bush served with plums and apples.
What is beef?
Cow.
The meat of cow. What is the meat of pig? Pork. The meat of a hen. Chicken. The meat of a sheep. Goat. Mutton.
And what was even more wonderful was that the food spoke terms of the dish, rather enjoyed the food with carving knife and fork.
Waddled means to wade is to walk in water. So the duck has a very typical kind of waddle kind of walk. So that is what the author is saying. Waddled. You want to use this in your answer. So I don't know what you want to do. You want to circle it, box it. But make note of these words in the chapter which you want to use in the answer. You will not say that the goose walked up to her. The goose waddled up to her. Okay?
Others went up to the poor child, then out, then the man, and nothing could be seen but the big poison.
Now you have to read the next paragraph.
She struck another
I mean, any doubts up to here? Anything not understood? कुछ पूछना है? Okay.
She struck another match and suddenly she was
Slow, much slow.
She struck another match and suddenly she was sitting under the most beautiful Christmas tree. It was much larger and much lovelier than the one she had seen last year through the glass doors of the rich merchant's house.
Okay. So here we have seen hallucination number 1. Write a number 1 over there. Here, na?
They like stone with grass on her rocks.
Okay, so that is 1. And this is 2. And on the next page is hallucination number 3. We want to know the hallucinations in the correct order when we are giving our answers. Who is a merchant?
Which sold trades.
One who buys and sells objects, a shopkeeper. So this has been happening to her year after year. She's comparing what she saw through the glass windows last year to what she can see now. So this has been happening to her ever since she has grown up enough to start selling matchboxes.
1,000 candles lit up the green branches and green colored walls like
Synonym for gaily. Synonym for gay, happy. So gaily, happily. Underline and write the meaning. HAPPILY. पेंसिल यूज करो ना, कटाकटी कर लो, नहीं है. Attendance sheet has been signed. Anyone who has not signed? Tanmay, Soham, Prasanna, not here. हाँ, continue बेटा.
green colored walls like those in the shop windows looked down upon her. The little girl reached forward with both hands, then out went the match. The many candles on the Christmas tree rose higher and higher through the air, and she saw that they had now turned into bright stars. One of them fell, streaking the sky with light.
Streaking the sky with light because you see like shooting star sort of thing, it has these streaks. And balls are, they have this, they have this kind of balls hanging from the Christmas trees. They have this kind of candles on each branch. So getting the idea what she's talking about? These are the kind of decorations on the Christmas tree and they have these rituals. Oh, Joanna knows that. You are decorating the Christmas tree at home. Done. Now you have to. Attendance? You have to read now.
Now someone is dying, said the little girl, for her old grandmother, the only one who had ever been good to her, but who was now dead, had said, whenever a star falls, a soul goes up to God.
So these candles on the Christmas tree, they lit up and they became like a shooting star in the sky. And her grandmother had told her that whenever this happens, someone is going to die. So how the author has already built that up, that suspense in the reader, is this girl going to die? Yeah, one more time.
She struck another match on the wall. Once more there was light, and in the glow stood her old grandmother. Oh, so bright and shining, and looking so gentle, kind and loving. Granny, cried the little girl. Oh, take me with you. I know you will disappear when the match is burned out.
Okay, I know you will disappear when the match is burnt out. She's not completely gone mad or something. She is having those sights which she almost, her mind produces those sights so that there is some loveliness in her life. But it's not as if she's gone mad. She has not lost her mind. She knows that when the matchstick goes off, the grandmother will go. She knows she's imagining things. So if there is a question related to this, have this clarity. Yeah? Continue.
You will manage that the warm stove, the lovely rose goose, and the great glorious Christmas tree.
Okay, you can continue.
Then she quickly said all the rest of the matches she had in the packet, or she did not want to keep her grandmother with her.
Continue.
The matches flared up with such a blaze that it was brighter than broad daylight.
Flared up means synonym burnt up. Underline and write the name.
And his own grandmother had never seen so beautiful or so stately before.
Stately meaning
Like,
not untidy.
you know,
You know how a beggar is with hair everywhere and clothes anywhere. So, but she's stately, like she's nicely dressed. Like how you have dressed up and come for classes today. Thank God pandemic is over. I can get ready, wear some nice t-shirts, wear some matching hairband, and come to work, come to class.
She took the little girl in the arms and flew with her. My love. Oh, so hard. It was the joy and joy. Now the new leader would not appear, not here, or they were both response.
Point to be noted, God is written with capital G. You're going to maintain that in your answers. There is some sense of a happy ending here, although the girl has died. Because critically examine the last line of this paragraph that he has just read. In the same line, he is mentioning the girl has died, but he's saying there is no cold, there is no hunger, and one more thing, there is no fear. So almost there is a sense of relief for the reader that the girl has died, but she's in a better place now. You know? So this line is a lot of paradox. We are critically examining the chapter. This is what it's called. So write this down. That the last line of this paragraph contains a high paradox for the reader because although the girl is dying, so the girl dying should have been something negative feeling for the reader, but the reader is actually feeling a sense of relief that the girl has died because there is no hunger, no cold, and no fear. These are the three things that were prominent in the girl's life. Clear? You have written it?
But in the cold dawn,
What is dawn?
Morning for
Early morning. So what is evening?
dusk.
Dusk. What are these two combined called? What is dawn and dusk? One word for that. There was a movie. Twilight. Nico. Critical examination. You have to write this down first, understand it. In the twilight, the characteristic is change. Day is becoming night or night is becoming day. So the author chooses to pick up a twilight time. Not only that, the year is changing, a new year has begun. So somewhere towards the end and climax of the story, in the second last paragraph itself, the author starts bringing up twilight, new year, because he is hoping that after reading this, the reader who falls in the category of those people who are sitting inside the merchant's house will be more attentive to those poor people out in the cold while they are celebrating their New Year Eves and Christmas, whether they can take care of those poor for whom just buying a matchbox would have been Christmas. So he is expecting a change in the reader's mentality, and therefore he brings up twilight, new year, a new dawn, a new realization in us, the readers, and so the scenario will change. Done? All of you must have eaten ice cream in life. What type of garnishing do you like on your ice cream?
Chocolate ganache.
Chocolate ganache. Okay. Fruits. Sprinkles. Okay.
Nuts.
Nuts. Nobody saying chocolate sauce. Tutti frutti. Various things. Understand that all this that I am giving you, overview, critical, is the topping on your ice cream. When a question is asked, the main answer has to be given. That is your ice cream. If I ask you for ice cream, you cannot give me a bowl full of tutti frutti with chocolate sauce on it. The ice cream has to be there. So when you write your answers, the main answer that the question is asking has to be there. But then you're going to garnish it with this. You're going to have this as an extra part to your answer so that the teacher is compelled to give you full marks. Are you understanding this? Not just overview. This has to be supplemented. Okay? Read further.
In the corner formed by the two houses sat the girl with rosy cheeks and smiling lips, dead, frozen to death on the last evening of the old year. The dawn of the new year rose on the huddled figure of the girl. She was still holding the matches, and half a packet had been gone.
Continue.
She was currently trying to warm herself. People said, but no one knew what beautiful visions she had seen and in what a blaze of beauty she had entered with her old grandmother into the heavenly joy and gladness of a new year.
So when people are feeling pity for her, it is so ironic. Had they felt pity for her while she was alive, she wouldn't have to die. So the people feeling pity for her now that she is dead is ironic. You understood why? Because
We didn't feel pity on her when she was alive.
had they felt pity for her while she was still alive, she wouldn't have to die. Right. Children, work on your handwriting and presentation skills. When the examiner sees your paper, your handwriting and the way you have presented the paper, right, like you're writing the questions, the examiner should feel this is the head boy of the school. And that has to begin from your tuition book itself. Suddenly you go to give your paper, कुछ ऐसा magic नहीं हो जाएगा कि अभी सब beautiful होगा. It has to be worked on every day. Anything you didn't understand about the chapter, just go through it. See if you want to ask me something. You have got your module. Some have got, some have not got. How many have not got? Just raise your hand. Okay. Okay, I'll tell him to bring.
No, it's not placard.
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 Show me.
Now the module is last year's, right?
No, this year we get a new module. Splattered means burned. Burned with a noise, splattering noise. Not different. This is volume 1, volume 2 will come. Literature is in that. This is grammar, writing and reading.
There was the meaning of the sentence. One of which projected further into the street.
Show me which one? One of?
The house.
Oh, it was a corner house. Wait, okay. Again, suggestive of change, something new, different. She huddled down in a heap in a corner formed by two houses. So you see, you have one house here, and you have one house here. So there is a kind of corner created. So she's sitting here. Again, corner is suggestive of a change because when you turn from the corner, then there is something new. So towards the progress of the chapter, the author is repeatedly suggesting some change, some turn for us to realize that how it is better to celebrate. I have seen a lot of WhatsApp videos regarding this, that you go to this poor lady and you buy the diyas and then she's also able to celebrate her Diwali. So this is something like that. Underline it and write the meaning better. Rihanna, can I have your old moment, please? This chapter is there.
Yes, boss.
Is there?
We did this.
Take down some questions for homework. Why was the girl unwilling to go home on that terribly cold night? Question 2. The girl had slippers on The girl had slippers on, comma, but they were of no use. But they were of no use. Full stop. Why? Question mark. Question 3. How can you conclude from the chapter that How can you conclude from the chapter that the girl was poor and dejected?
And what was the last one?
Dejected. Dejected means abused, not appreciated, not loved and cared for. How appropriate is the title of the story? This question we should do for all the chapters and poems. The title. Next question. Why did the little girl say, open inverted commas, now someone is dying? Close inverted commas, question mark. What kind of relationship? Take care of your handwriting while you're writing, children. You rather write slowly but write properly. If the examiner cannot read what you have written, she will not give you marks. What kind of a relationship did the girl share with her father and her grandmother? Of course, the favorite question that you have to do for all chapters, character sketch of the little girl. Understand how you have to answer a character sketch, children. In a character sketch, you are going to list almost 5 adjectives about the character in question. And after each character, each adjective that you have listed for that person, you are going to give a justification. The moment you say that the little girl, what adjectives do we have for the little girl?
Poor.
That's not a character sketch, beta. I beg your pardon? Dejected. So when you're saying that she is dejected, what is your justification for it?
Her father does not love her and treats her poorly.
Could not go home because her father is ill-treating her all the time, although it was so bitterly cold here. So you have given an adjective, you have given a justification, but you are not going to number it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just going to give separate paragraphs. Okay? You're not going to leave lines between the paragraphs. You're only going to take a new line, leave 2 finger space so that the teacher knows that a new paragraph is started. But you're not going to leave line after each paragraph. So you're giving 5 adjectives, you're giving justification. The justification has to be some incident from the chapter. Clear? Last question, then we'll go for break. The sad climax of the chapter leaves the reader with a ray of hope. Full stop, explain. Okay, go for your 5 minutes break, children. Take help from wherever you want, but then close it and write your own answer. Copy paste nahi karna.
एसी चालू है शायद तो लाइट नहीं आ रही
चालू ना वाला
मुझे हवा नहीं आ रही
वहाँ पे गिर लाइट दिख रही है
अरे ये भी चालू है ऊपर
हाँ ये भी चालू है
पहली रजिस्ट्रेशन
वो पास में कैसे एक बार यदि बोल गया उनसे पूछते ना वहाँ पे
What grammar topic has been started because now we have volume 1. Subject verb agreement. Bolo beta. It's up to you, beta. It's up to you. Page number 64. A verb must agree with its subject and person. Now, if I give you a sentence like Radha goes to the market, what is the verb? What is the subject? Subject is singular or plural?
Singular.
Verb is singular or plural? Plural. Goes. Now, if I make this Radha and Krishna, what does it become? Go to the market. Subject is
Plural.
verb is singular. I go to the market. Both are singular. This is your first rule for subject verb agreement, जो कि बहुत basic है. पर आगे आगे चल के it will get more complicated in the sense when you have a bunch of keys. Is it singular or plural? A bunch of keys is singular or plural?
Singular.
How singular? Bunch of keys is a group of keys, no? Many keys, no? Many keys.
Together it's singular.
So, many keys is or are kept on the table?
Are kept on the table.
Are kept on the table. But a bunch of keys is kept on the table. So, the point is when you have a collective noun, the verb will become singular. When you have plural, your verb is plural. अब ये जो है राधा and Krishna, this is plural and this is go to the market. But Radha as well as Krishna, Radha along with Krishna. So rules change. So that is what is listed here. Go through it at an individual level. Everyone has been given the book. You don't have?
No, I already have one.
Okay, at home. Use mine. Go through the rules, literally underline something that you're not understanding and ask me. Once and for all subject verb agreement को अच्छे से समझ लो, because once you have understood this, then you don't go wrong with your answers. You don't go wrong with your writing skills. If you've not understood this, you write wrong, grammatically wrong answers, grammatically wrong emails and notices, and marks takta hai. So understand it. That's why I'm asking you to do it at an individual level because you need to understand what the rule is saying. And then according to the rule, we will do the exercise. I want you to number how many rules you are getting. कि ये rule number 1 हो गया, ये rule number 2 हो गया. So how many rules did you get? And don't share it with your partner. One of you wants to go back, the bench is empty. Yeah? How many rules did you get, children? You? 15. Anyone 16? Anyone 14? Open total English and go through subject verb agreement. How many rules are you getting there? I see. 21 rules you are getting. So 15, 21 minus 15, 6 extra rules. कौन से वो 6 extra rules है जो हमको मॉड्यूल में लिखने चाहिए इसका मतलब? I want rule number 1 of the module and rule number 1 of your total English to be the same rule.
Yes.
Rule number 2 should be same. Rule number 3.
Rule number 2 is not.
Rule
Not-
number 2 is 3 in this.
हाँ तो चेंज करो उसको. Numbering should tally. Shall we start doing the exercise? If you think there is place enough for you to do it in the book itself, you can do it there. Or else if you think you want to do it in the tuition book, you can do it there. Cover the answers with some other book and start doing it. The answers are given there, no? Just cover it with another book and start doing it. Now check your answers and see if your answer is right, put a tick on it. If your answer is wrong, put a cross. There should put a circle if your answer is wrong. There shouldn't be any question that you have not done. You have to do all. Whatever you think is the best answer, you write that. You can refer to your rules. This is not a test we are doing. Okay? So after checking, how many have got all right? How many got all correct? Nobody? How many got one wrong? Two wrongs? Okay, good. What's your name? Yours?
I'm sure.
Yours? And how many got three wrongs? Four wrongs? Five wrongs? Nobody, na? Who gets some? Okay. I appreciate your honesty at least. Now try to score well. कोई भी छोड़ना नहीं आपने वन को blank ही छोड़ा हुआ है. Right answer. Okay. Go through the rules again. Verify whether what you're writing is right. वो जब आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे तो अपने आप लर्न हो जाएगा. Of course you have to learn the rules. ना नहीं तो एक्सरसाइज कैसे करोगे बेटा? Second exercise done? Checking also done?
Can I change the text of the word and the answer will be the same?
No, you can't make any changes.
In one sentence I would pause, but behind the answer is it.
What do you mean behind?
Like in the answer it is it, but I don't pause.
So that is wrong, no?
So how will you understand the sentence?
So you are talking about sentence number 4.
Yes.
Neither food nor water was to be found here. And now this sound. No, no. So unless there is some suggestion of the past or some suggestion of the future, the default what you will take and move forward is present. Done? So how many got all correct?
I have a doubt here. The first page, each day,
The first one.
yeah, each day and each hour dash is joy. Behind it treated brings us joy. But then when each comes, it is singular, right?
But it's coming twice, na?
It's twice then plural.
Yeah, because and ho gaya na. So then it is a plural subject. So here it is not the question of each. Here the question is that it's a plural subject. Two singular nouns refer to me, not that one. This, when two or more singular subjects are joined by an and, it is that rule that is applicable here. If it was just each day, then it is considering each. Here it is considering two singular nouns which are brought together with an and therefore to be considered as a plural subject. Good question, Joanna. Finish checking, children? No? Now then checking.
Ma'am, I have doubt here.
Question number
6.
B.6, no?
Yes. Neither Jatin nor his friends are dash in
Where is the rule number?
Ma'am, in total English it is given when the neither nor is in a sentence. The verb agrees with the subject which is at
Close to the verb.
But in the back it is given is. I have written answer.
Show me your total English. So it is rule number
7.
Show me your book. She is not number. Oh, you are also not number. The plural subject comes nearest to the verb. So it should be R, na?
Yes, ma'am.
So the answer given behind is wrong. B.6, children. The answer given behind is, it should be R, because neither Jatin nor his friends are to blame. When there is a neither nor, then the subject which is coming closer to the verb has to agree with that. So Jatin and his friends is plural, therefore it will be are, not is. Have you made the changes? Now have you finished checking all?
Yes, ma'am.
How many got all correct? Wow. How many got one wrong? Good. 2. Okay. 3. Okay. 4. You already finished raising your hand? Okay. So we've done with all. Now do we have one more solved example or is it directly a practice test?
No, it's not exam.
One more is there? Okay, do that then. Do we need the fan? Now, as you're doing exercise 3, it should become more obvious to you. Without referring to rule, you should know कि अच्छा यहाँ पर ये आएगा, यहाँ पर ये आएगा. Exercise 3 is done. Finish checking also. Yes, beta.
The jury are divided into committees.
Yeah. The jury is a tricky collective noun. What is happening is when the jury is a group of judges. When they are functioning as a single unit and taking a decision, whether that decision is to kill the criminal, put him in prison, or to release the prisoner, then they are working as a single unit. But on the other hand, when they are divided, when they do not have a single opinion, yeah, when the jury is going to their own respective houses, then they are not working as a single unit. They are like multiple people, like going to their own individual homes. They are not going to one person's house to party there. They are not working as a collective. You are a class till you are sitting here. Now, when the class is dispersed, then you are not a class. Then you are a group of students who's going to their own individual houses. Understanding what is happening with the jury? Joanna, something happened? You want to go?
Yes.
Go. What happened? Dust?
Now,
No, for her what happened, I'm asking. One minute. What happened? Okay, the mask went into her eyes, so her eyes were okay. You have a doubt? 1 minute. There is no rule about large number? What does it say?
Ma'am, a number of it is plural.
So the verb has to be plural, na?
Yes.
So it should be were, na? A large number of students
Yes.
were. They have given was. Yes. Ninth answer has been given as was. It should be were.
Ma'am, I have one doubt in 8.1.
Haruko, she has a doubt. Sentence number.
In the 12th one. I'm in the 12th one. The accountant and the cashier, they both are two different subjects, but they express the same idea. So the verb should be singular.
No.
And
Expressing the same idea or different idea is not a criteria. You see, with the presence of the and absence of the, it becomes as if it is the same person or two different people. So if it is two different people, then it will be plural. If it is the same person who is the accountant as well as the cashier, accountant and cashier generally same nahi hota hai, but you know, for a movie you can have the same person who is the director as well as the producer. So the director and producer of the film, singular. But the director and the producer of the film, meaning two different people, then plural. What they express as an idea, whether it is collective or it is different, has nothing to do with the choice of the verb.
so ma'am, I'm doubt in
Wait. Is this clear? 12th is clear.
Ma'am, so the answer will be are or were.
We go with present unless something in the sentence says that it is past tense or future tense. अगर yesterday, will, next year, ऐसा कुछ suggest है, तो you will go with past or future. Otherwise, you will stick to the present.
Ma'am, so it's are.
12th one, no?
Yes.
They have given. No, it should be R. Yes.
Ma'am, in 8th and 16th.
Let's look at 8. The crew.
Model disobedience. Ma'am, the crew is collective now said to take, it should take singular one. So there is given plural, it were.
No, it should be was. मैं भैया को पूछ के आती हूँ, ये बुक मेरा है तो I make the changes. भैया, ये बुक मेरे लिए है. 16 का
Because right now, 16 is I think I will red and button. Give us the
मैंने सोचा कि वही
Ma'am, in 16th one. Ma'am, in 16th.
Wait. First, I want to make the changes because he's saying, okay, this book is mine now. So I'll make the changes. कहाँ उनको error मिला बताना जरा. We got an error in which number?
8, 9.
8th we are making it.
9.
9th we are making it. Which other? 11th we are making it.
Are.
The jury.
Are.
You find now?
Yeah, now it's less.
Yeah, that's why this mask is a little dangerous.
12.
So 12th also we are changing it. Any other?
Ma'am, 16th.
Rice and curry. It should be the answer. What have they given? Any other? So with this we have finished the solved examples. Practice exercise you will do at home. In the previous exercise A, did we make any changes to the answers? In A, none in A. B,
There was one.
Yes, ma'am. The 6th one.
so this topic is clear.
Yes.
Apart from this, you can do total English also as practice at home. So then this topic will be clear. That time up क्या भी time है? 10 minute है. So you can start doing total English now. Everyone has it.
It was all empty.
Yeah, scary.
One of the एक ही सीजन एक ही पर्सन है तो दोनों चाचा
Little Pastor was Little Pastor
सेना शायद इसलिए याद कर रहे हैं मेरे को भी इजी आ रहा है मानस में इजी है size of the sheets and size the quantity these are easy the midnight children ये तो एक easy है अरे सब में मैं दूरी वाला फ्रेंड्स as well as तो फर्स्ट से लेगा
first का क्या was की बात
was इसे चेक कर
school teacher ने was school teacher ने was
आंसर दिया मैं करके रखा था स्कूल टीचर ने कराती है
मैंने वही किया
तेरा हो गया करेक्ट आंसर आपको 6 तो में डाउट है 15 का was forever my friends as well as friends as well as अगर पहला सब्जेक्ट से लेगा तो पहला सब्जेक्ट so we learn here 21 अभी इसमें ना हो गया नन वाले the first subject इसमें नन वाला
This is total English, na? The answers are given?
no
So neither of the two students
neither
were होना चाहिए neither है तो पर students है ना neither का रूल देखो
मैम नॉट कनेक्टेड नहीं है ना इसके लिए तो
show where is the rule
neither of the two was
where
Ma'am, fourth rule in
Neither of the two men was. So यहाँ पर है neither of the two students was present.
Ma'am, fourth rule in volume. Fourth rule in
Fourth rule.
indefinite pronouns.
I usually else rule and either each other.
And the end rule. The second and the end.
So it should be was. The manager and the director has. Because another there is not there, so it's a single person. Many a worker was. Where होना चाहिए ना? See page number 65 of the module, rule number N.5. Many a man does not. Many a worker. अच्छा, does is plural ना? Otherwise it would be do. So where is correct? One of the players. Where is the rule?
What was the third one?
Third one is verb. Where is one of the rule?
Ma'am, it should be was, no?
Why beta?
Either each other, many was being.
Third one is many a worker beta. Many कहाँ से आ रहे तुमको?
It should be followed by a singular verb.
Many a man does not agree, na? Page number 65, rule number N, example number 5. Many a
Not agree is plural.
does not agree is plural, ना? नहीं तो do होता ना? Do is singular, ना?
हमने बाद में से wrote it as an example in this one.
Why? Followed by a verb in the singular.
But it was from many
Ma'am, many is followed by a singular.
अच्छा, so does is singular they are saying.
Yes.
So that means this should be was.
Yes.
One of the player, no, many a worker was injured in the train accident. हाँ, a worker है तो was ही होना चाहिए ना? Yes. Then one of the players
Was.
either Meera or her friends are to be blamed. None of the books. None के साथ none of the books is read today, na? Where is the rule for your none? D. See, is आना चाहिए. The quality of shoes was not good. 10,000 rupees is a good sum. Neither the manager nor the workers are. 50 kilometers is. Sunil as well as his friends has. As well as आता है तो singular होता है. The size of the sheet is. The midnight children. The jury. Were. My friends as well as I. As well as के लिए singular आएगा ना?
First subject.
First subject. So then verb. Done. So who is this child? Okay. Who got all correct? No one. Who got one wrong? Oh, you are grammar strong. You got all correct?
Yes.
You've not put ticks or crosses? Okay, but you got all correct. Good. You got one. And who got 2? 3? 4? Joanna, you know.
Ma'am, we didn't saw half of it.
Oh.
So,
You? How many rounds you got, beta? One. Good. Chalo, pack up. So what homework are we going home with?
Practice exercise.
And little match the
You can eat, children.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, beta. Good night. Bye, beta. Bye, beta. Bye. Bye, sweetie. Offline lectures are better than online, no?
Yeah.